The first time Emily stood, her knees buckled. "You've been in bed for almost 2 weeks," the nurse said softly, steadying her. "Take it slowly, love. One step at a time." The nurse's name was Grace, and she had a kind face, round cheeks, short curly hair tucked into a blue surgical cap, and eyes that watched Emily not with pity, but with purpose. Emily had told her what she could. Not the whole truth, but enough. That she had been in an abusive marriage. That her name wasn't Jane Doe, as the hospital labeled her. That she had no one to call. Grace didn't pry. She simply nodded and said, "Then you start fresh. We've had worse. You're lucky to be alive." Lucky. Emily lay awake that night, staring at the cracked ceiling of her tiny room, thinking about that word. Lucky wasn't waking up in a charity-run clinic with bruises on your ribs and no last name. Lucky wasn't being left in the cold by the people who were supposed to love you. But maybe, just maybe, Lucky was a second chance. By the 3rd week, her strength returned. By the 5th, her memories did. Names. Details. Passwords. Phone numbers. The color of the folder that held Jason's criminal empire. She saw them in her dreams, as clearly as if they were inked into her skin. One morning, as snow flurried past the clinic window, Emily sat with Grace during tea break. "If someone dies legally, how long before they are really gone?" she asked. Grace sipped her tea. "Well, if no ID was found and no one claims the body, they are just listed as unidentified. But if someone's body is claimed and misidentified, that's trickier. Especially if the person doesn't come forward." Emily thought for a long while. And what if that person doesn't want to come forward? Grace tilted her head. Then she better make sure whoever tried to bury her never sees her coming. They shared a quiet look. And in that moment, Grace knew. She didn't say a word. She didn't need to. Over the next few weeks, Emily began to rebuild. A small inheritance from her late mother had been untouched for years, buried in a dormant account she remembered the access code for. With it, she rented a modest flat on the outskirts of London, under a new name, Elena Day. She cut her hair, dyed it dark, learned how to move without being seen. Grace connected her to a discreet therapist, and a legal aid who specialized in identity change for abuse survivors. They didn't ask questions. They only gave her tools. And in the quiet of her new, empty home, Emily began her rebirth. But life had more to offer. It was a rainy Tuesday, when she ran into Daniel Wells at a bookstore in Camden. She hadn't seen him in over a decade. They had grown up on the same street. Daniel, the shy, brilliant boy with charcoal-stained fingers, who used to sketch her under the mango tree in her backyard. "Emily," he said slowly, blinking. She froze. "No," she said too quickly. "You must be mistaken." But Daniel wasn't easily fooled. He stepped back, eyes searching hers. "I'd recognize you even if the world didn't." "It's me, Daniel." Her defenses crumbled. They sat for coffee. She told him everything, well, almost everything. Enough for him to understand the truth, without the blood-soaked details. Daniel listened. And when she finished, he reached across the table, covered her trembling hand with his. "You don't need to pretend with me," he said. "You were always stronger than you knew." Tears burned her eyes. He didn't ask to fix her. He didn't try to protect her. He simply became a constant, checking in, helping her navigate the business world again, even connecting her with silent investors through his art contacts. One night, over wine and thunder outside, she asked, "Why are you helping me?" Daniel smiled. "Because I've been in love with you since we were 12. And I never stopped." She didn't say anything. But she didn't need to. That winter, Emily found purpose. She wasn't just going to survive. She was going to win. She created a shell corporation named Day Holdings, using a legal proxy, a clever but quiet solicitor named Fiona Rowe, who specialized in confidential acquisitions. Fiona knew how to stay invisible in plain sight. Emily gave her clear instructions. Start buying Dawson estates. One at a time. Never in my name. Don't let them know who's behind it. Fiona raised a brow. You planning to destroy someone? No, Emily said. I'm reclaiming what's mine. And just like that, the game began. By the time Christmas lights lit the city, Jason Dawson's empire had unknowingly begun to rot at the roots. One of his warehouses was bought out by Day Holdings. Then 2 of his apartment complexes. He didn't notice. He was too busy building a luxury development on borrowed money. Emily watched from the shadows, each move precise, each purchase personal. She never touched anything sentimental until she was ready. Until it was time for the mansion. She smiled as she stared at the blueprint one evening. Her fingers ran across the address. Dawson Estate. 12 Elm Grove Avenue. Not for long, she whispered. Emily Dawson was dead. But Elena Day. She was about to make Jason Dawson kneel. Like and follow to stay updated.